Right, call to order for the Township Council regular meeting of Tuesday, May 13th. Let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Wow, we have a packed room. Very, very good. It's always a beautiful day in Concord. Even though it's raining, it's a beautiful day in Concord Township. I love to see all these people in the room. So we're going to start out with recognition and announcements. We have a certificate of recognition for Rob Kilborn, recognizing Rob for his years of service to Concord Township. Whereas Robert Kilborn has served Concord Township since October of 1978, and whereas after 47 years of admirable service to the residents of Concord Township, Mr. Kilborn retired on April 2nd, 2025. And whereas Mr. Kilborn has done a commendable job for the citizens of Concord Township by playing an integral role as part of the Public Works team when he first began his career with the township, and later transitioned to the vital position of Property Safety Inspector, where he continued to serve with dedication and professionalism. And whereas Concord Township Council would like to officially recognize and thank Mr. Kilborn for his many years of dedicated service as an employee to the citizens of Concord Township. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Concord Township Council does hereby acknowledge and recognize the many years of outstanding work, dedication, and commitment demonstrated by Mr. Robert Kilborn, and wishes him the best of luck in all his future endeavors during retirement. So that's in the form of a motion, I would say. We get
second.
Second. Any questions? Well, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, come up. Okay, well, moving right along, we have our next recognition is for Virginia Hayes for her outstanding achievement in attaining the Girl Scout Gold Award. Whereas Virginia Hayes is the recipient of the highest scouting award, the Girl Scout Gold Award, and whereas the Girl Scouts of America is a vital force in the development of our youth through its many programs, which encourage the ability of its members to do things for themselves and especially for others. One of the major objectives in the scouting program is to develop citizenship through community involvement. And in addition to working for citizenship merit badges, Scouts are encouraged to participate in community service projects. And whereas for her Gold Award project, Virginia planned and facilitated a lending library at the newly renovated historic Spring Valley AME Church, located on Spring Valley Road in Concord Township. Opened on June 19 of 2024, her lending library houses African American literature and supports literacy and cultural awareness in Concord Township. And whereas nationally, fewer than 6% of all Girl Scouts attain a Gold Award, Virginia has proven herself to be an outstanding member of the Girl Scouts of America. The Girl Scout Gold Award is a distinction that will follow her throughout life. Now therefore be it resolved that Concord Township Council does hereby recognize and congratulate Virginia Hayes on being the recipient of the Girl Scouts' highest award and encourages her to continue her commitment to excellence. That's in the form of a motion.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Here we go.
All right. Our next certificate of recognition is recognizing Susan Sternberg for her devoted contributions to Concord Township and the Rachel Cole Library. Whereas Susan Sternberg has faithfully served as director of the Rachel Cole Community Library since 2017, and whereas after 8 years of dedicated service to the library, Ms. Sternberg retired as of May 2nd, 2025. Whereas under Susan Sternberg's exceptional leadership, the Rachel Cole Community Library has experienced significant physical expansion and modernization, fueled by her remarkable fundraising abilities and her steadfast commitment to providing accessible, high-quality resources for the entire community. Whereas Susan has championed both the development of her staff and the enrichment of the community, advocating for improved compensation and cultivating a workplace grounded in service and collaboration, while also transforming the library into a vibrant, inclusive hub through diverse programming from STEM. If you don't know what STEM is, it's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, arts and literacy initiatives to community partnerships, youth leadership, and civic engagement. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Concord Township Council does hereby recognize and commend Susan Sternberg for her exemplary service and commitment and extends sincere congratulations and best wishes for a fulfilling and joyful retirement. That's in the form of a motion.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Susan?
Here we go.
You'll figure it out.
Look at you with your important docs. I'm a very important person, right?
Susan Sternberg. Okay, County Heritage Awards. Okay, we have another announcement. The Delaware County Heritage Commission acknowledged the awards this year for the Newland Gristmill for their water system and spillway reconstruction project, Emma Lochner for a day spent around Concord, a photo recreation project, and Virginia Hayes for her Spring Valley AME Church lending library project, and Pam Rizzo for her U.S. Colored Troops lecture. So the award ceremony was held on Sunday, May the 4th. So we congratulate those folks as well. By the way, our compensation up here is depending on how many photos we take.
Clearly tonight.
Moving right along, we have a proclamation for the 100th birthday for Jim Smith, who lives in Ivy Creek. Is Jim with us tonight? No. Okay. All right. He will receive a certificate, a proclamation in person on June the 1st at Ivy Creek. Some of us at the board will be visiting Ivy Creek and present that to him. Benita?
Thank you, John. This is a certificate of recognition presented to Jim Smith in sincere and grateful recognition of his remarkable achievement of 100 years of life and invaluable contribution to his wisdom, experience, and longevity. Given this on 13th day of May 2025 at Concord Township Municipal Building in Glen Mills, Pennsylvania.
Okay, thank you. All right, next we have the scholarship award winners. Dana, would you like to handle that?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Vice President. So John and I had the opportunity to review the scholarships, and we had 6 candidates, and out of the 6 candidates, we picked the 4 candidates that we're going to honor tonight. So first, we want to recognize Griffin Hayes. So we want to recognize and congratulate Griffin Hayes on being the recipient of the 2025 Concord Township Scholarship Award for their accomplishments in leadership and activities and community service, and we wish them well and success as they continue their studies at Penn State University for the business and finance. We'd also like to recognize Rachel Ranieri. So we want to recognize and congratulate Rachel Ranieri on being the recipient of the 2025 Concord Township Scholarship Award for her accomplishments in leadership, activities, and community service, and we wish her success as they continue her studies at James Madison University for business. Our next candidate is Shahiri Shikari. We would like to recognize and congratulate Shahiri Shikari on being the recipient of the 2025 Concord Township Scholarship Award for their accomplishments in leadership, activities, and community service, and wishes them well and success as they continue their studies at Penn State University for aerospace engineering. And we'd also like to recognize Isabel Trant and congratulate Isabel Trant on being the recipient of the 2025 Concord Township Scholarship Award for her accomplishments in leadership and activities, community service, and we wish them much success as they continue their studies at the University of Pennsylvania for biophysics. Congratulations.
Now we have a certificate of recognition recognizing the Garnet Valley High School 2024-2025 girls varsity basketball team. Whereas the Township of Concord, Delaware County, Pennsylvania is proud to recognize the achievements of young people in our community. And whereas the endless hours of practice and dedication have allowed the 2024-2025 Garnet Valley girls varsity basketball team to achieve high honors. And whereas the girls' basketball team are 2024-2025 Central League champions who qualified and advanced to the 6A District 1 state tournament and finished their season as 6A District 1 state semifinalists with a total of 29 wins and 3 losses. And whereas these victories are quite an accomplishment, thanks to the support from their parents, community, and coaches. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Council of Concord Township does hereby acknowledge and applaud the outstanding accomplishments of the 2024-2025 Garnet Valley High School girls varsity basketball team. Seniors, Kylie Mulholland, Savannah Saunders, Haley Adamski, and Sarah Sixton. Juniors, Reagan Leidig, Reese Hunter, Amanda Bilson, Katie Dwyer, and Cassidy Zipperlin. Sophomores, Ryan Razano, Addison Admansky, Kylie Admansky, and Viviana Ivarone. Student manager, Josh Kroltzel. Head coach, Joe Woods. Assistant coaches, Kelly Anderson, Mike Krautzel, Dan McManus, Kristen Port, Shannon Woods, and Emily McIntyre. That's in the form of a motion.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations, girls.
I think we should stand. Do you guys want to stand up here, Don? Larry? It would be too crowded.
Okay.
We're going to
You're gonna stand up here?
Yeah. Okay. Congratulations, girls. That's
Congratulations.
You're so tall.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much. I like you guys all wore your shirts. Nice. Congratulations.
I would like to add a little footnote to this award. Special congratulations to Haley Admansky for being named the 2024-25 Daily Times Girl Basketball Player of the Year. Haley wrapped up a historic career at Garnet Valley as the program's all-time leading scorer with 1,858 points, ranking third in Delaware County history. She is also just the second player in school history to earn this top honor. A team captain and Central League MVP, Haley helped lead the Jaguars to a 29-3 record, a league championship, a district final appearance, and a second straight trip to the PIAA 6A state semifinals. Her performance this season included averaging 17.7 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and 3 assists per game. She also earned first-team All-Delco honors for the third year in a row. Haley's leadership extended far beyond the box score. She inspired her teammates, mentored younger players, including her sisters, and helped build a winning culture at Garnet Valley that will have a lasting impact. Congratulations, Haley, and best of luck next year at Lafayette. And I know personally, I have seen 3 or 4 games this year. I honestly didn't see any boys' games, but I saw the girls' games. I've been following Haley since she was a freshman. I was so impressed when I saw her play in her freshman year. Every year I would go back and watch her play. Very, very great athlete, and proud to be saying what I'm saying. Also, the All-Delco, Kylie Mulholland was also first team All-Delco. And we had a couple honorable mentions, Addie Admansky and Kylie Admansky and Savannah Saunders. So great program. And now we have the next recognition. The Garnet Valley Ice Hockey Club. Okay. So So whereas the Township of Concord, Delaware County, Pennsylvania is proud to recognize achievements of young people in our community, and whereas the endless hours of practice and dedication have allowed the 2024-2025 Garnet Valley Ice Hockey Club to achieve high honors. Whereas the Garnet Valley Ice Hockey Club is the 2025 Pennsylvania Class A Division State Champions. And whereas this victory is quite an accomplishment thanks to the support from their parents, coaches, and community. I can speak to that. I did not see the ice hockey team play this year, but my two sons both played ice hockey in high school, and I know the commitment that you folks put in. Very, very good. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Council of Concord does hereby acknowledge and applaud the outstanding accomplishments of the 2024-2025 Garnet Valley Ice Hockey Club. 12th graders A.J. Tennyson, Jackson Simbala, Jake Robinson, Caden Longo, Kevin Walton, Nolan Stott, Wyatt Haglid, Jeremy Iska, Garrett Stoops. 11th graders Evan Riley, Matthew Abanizio, Ryan McKee, Owen Parker, Leo Kayad. 10th graders Aiden Delphin, Yager Kern, Jake Morrow, Dylan Orr, Jordan Heinrich, and Raiden Zavad. 9th graders Chase Robinson, Ralph Papa IV, and Nicholas Mara. That's in the form of a motion.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys.
This one keeps with us. Do I have a coach? Who do I have?
Love your jackets.
State champs, look at them jackets.
I need to go to the basketball team.
Great job. Thank you. All right. Whew. Where are we? Okay, now we talk about our upcoming meetings and events. On May 15th, we have bingo at the Senior Center. May 19th, Planning Commission meeting. May 20th, primary election day. May 21st, couple of items, zoning hearing board meeting, lawn debris pickup day, and historical commission. May 26th, Memorial Day holiday. May 29th, yoga in the park. And May 31st, music in the park. Yeah. So if some of the awardees care to leave, you can. We have a lot of business. We have a lot of business items to go over. And, there you go.
They don't know what's up there.
Now we can breathe.
I felt like they wanted to go, but they didn't want to interrupt. Yeah. Sorry to nudge you on that.
Gosh, it's 24 minutes. All right. All right, now we'll move on. We have our reports, Public Safety Fire Company report. Vinita?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Today, for our public safety, we do have here, I want to introduce Dr. Hope, who will update our community. in the township.
You're green.
Thank you, folks. I must have a way of clearing out a room. I won't take it personally. Just a quick update, just a few statistics for you folks, and then obviously any questions I'd be happy to answer. Call volumes for the period of January 1st through April 30th. Fire company responded to a total of 415 fire and rescue calls. Of them, 218 were in Concord Township boundaries, representing 53% of our fire calls. EMS medical calls for that same time period were 1,394. Of them, 884 were within Concord Township boundaries, representing 63% of our calls. Training is ongoing. In fact, the fire company at this very moment is in Westchester at the burn building doing live burn scenarios. We have Company 43 from Holmes covering us for a couple of hours. So training has been pretty robust. We just spent about 160 hours of hazmat refresher training for the fire company, over 80 hours of CPR training, and it felt like 500 hours, but it was only 100 hours of bloodborne pathogen training. So the fire company is very active on the training end. We are really pushing our community outreach, trying to be more involved in the community in non-emergency situations, and I think it's going very well. I think the big thing the fire company is faced with at this point, as everybody is concerned with the Crozier closing and how that's affecting EMS response in the township. While we're not directly affected because our relationship with Riddle has stayed the same, and we are continually trying to supplement with paid full-time and part-time staff to cover emergency calls, we cannot control the ER wait times that we'll now be facing at both Riddle and Chester County as our primary hospital ER visits. So we're going to do our best. We ask the township and the residents to be as patient with us as we navigate through this. But we're going to make sure, and we're going to find a way to make sure we provide the services, and we'll continue to do it. So I don't know if there's any questions for me from the fire company.
Any questions?
I do have a question. Just in light of Crozier Chester closing, I know there are going to be additional calls and wait times for our residents. Is there any advice that you would like to give to our residents in case they have an emergency and we might be locked up?
Yeah, the biggest concern we're going to be faced with at this point, again, is the wait times in the ERs. If the ERs are backed up, there has to be a controlled transfer of the patient from ambulance crew to ER personnel. If there are no beds in the emergency department, we cannot transfer the patient. That patient stays on our stretcher, and that could be 40 minutes, it could be 4 hours. What I would suggest is that folks utilize urgent cares when all possible. What I would suggest to folks is don't anticipate that calling 911 and going by ambulance is going to get you seen any sooner. You will be triaged just like every other patient that comes through the doors, and you'll be put in the waiting room if you're not a true emergency. So, you know, cautious use of the EMS system, cautious use of 911. If you're in doubt, call 911. We don't want anybody not calling it. But I think our biggest thing is the community being patient with us as we try to navigate with these changes.
Thank you.
I just wanted to point out, Dr. Hope, do you want to also have any advice? You tend to have a lot of calls that maybe are more like a commute transport. So I just want to reiterate, I don't know if you do, that sentiment of they're not a ride service.
Yeah,
you know?
I think in the old days, the quote-unquote old days, people would call 911 figuring they'd get back to the ER quicker if they came in by ambulance. And actually, that was true 20 years ago. It's no longer true. You get triaged, and you will be put in the waiting room, or you'll sit on our stretcher in the back of an ambulance for an hour or two until an appropriate space becomes available. So our call volumes are incredibly high. You know, we're well on pace to exceed last year's EMS call volume of about 4,500 calls. And what the EMS tie-up does is it sometimes takes full-time firefighters out of the mix because they have to staff the second or potentially third ambulance, which we go to all the time. We go to third ambulance calls all the time. that leaves fewer firefighters back to respond to fire emergencies in the township. So again, we don't want to discourage anybody from using 911, but don't think it's going to get you back any quicker. It's not.
I do want to thank you on behalf of our community
Well,
on your hard work.
from the fire company standpoint, we really appreciate what you guys do for us. We know it's getting tough, and we know we're asking for more. But trust me, we're asking it so we can do the job you guys have entrusted to us to do. So we're doing the best, but we know we're asking a lot. We know.
Cool. Thank you for your comments.
You're welcome. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving right along, the open space, trails, and recreation. Since Mr. Crossan is not here, the report will be included in the minutes. Next, we have sewer and public works. Dana?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. So a couple updates from the sewer department. They checked and maintained all pump stations. They do that 3 times a week. In spring cleaning time, so they completed the pump station wet well cleaning. And in the middle of the month, the staff met with HRG Engineering and did an in-person inspection of the plant outfall discharge line. And the staff has been busy marking the lines for the PA1 calls due to PICO replacing all electrical poles throughout the township. And on the public works side, they have done a lot of work on Smithbridge Park and Bush Hill Farm Park, where they're increasing the beauty and upgrades. The Pierce Willits House, the historic property owned by Concord Township, had a complete overhaul in the gardens. The staff edged mulch, add plantings, and river stone along the digging and resetting of the old stepping stones, making the area very nice. They also repaired a sinkhole at 5 Broom Court in Martin's Run Development, and they're also cleaned all storm drains throughout the town for proper drainage of roadways, patched potholes, and installed many signs for safety upgrades. Thank you.
Okay, next we have the building and code enforcement. Since Colleen Marone is not here, the report will be included in the minutes as presented by the department. Next we have Planning Commission. Larry?
Concord Township Planning Commission activities for April. The Planning Commission agenda meeting was held on April 14th, and the public meeting was held on April 21st. Plans recommended to council. We had Ferrera subdivision at 823 Shavertown Road. We had Michaelron LLC at 64 Kirk Road, and we had LU 81 LLC at 39 Kirk Road. New projects, we have another Ferrera subdivision at 814 Shavertown. We also have Penns Woods Winery, William Penn Corp. At 124 Beaver Valley Road was granted a 30-day extension. The schedule for this month, the agenda meeting was held last night, and the public meeting will be held next Monday, May 19th. That's it for planning.
Is that it?
That's it for planning.
Okay,
yeah.
next we have the solicitor, Mr. Donahue.
Good evening, sir. I'm pleased to report that there are no new legal developments that have developed at this time. Thank you.
Okay, Township Manager, or Township Engineer. Nate?
Sure, just a couple quick updates that aren't on the agenda. Well, actually, the biggest update is the school district project is underway. Obviously, we had all those student athletes here this evening, so their ball field facility project is underway. I met with Bob Sanderson, the Director of Operations, and several of the Cobbler Lane residents this week, just trying to run ahead of some issues over there. So we'll keep apprised on that situation. Otherwise, I think everything else is otherwise on the agenda tonight.
Very good. All right, next we have Township Manager, Amanda.
I just want to point out, I see Mr. Goebel in the back. Thank you for reporting. You had pointed out something on the Public Works monthly report that was corrected. And I also wanted to point out how wonderful it was tonight. And I know Rob has since left, but it was wonderful working alongside of Rob for the 8 years that I've been here. And he is a wonderful employee, can't be replaced. But we were so happy for him in retirement. So I just wanted to say that. Thanks.
Okay, now we go to citizen comments. Anyone from the public care to address the board?
Hello, Gene Goebel, 7 Quaker Lane. have a question on the property safety and code report. The bottom bullet regarding the Concord Town Center says a number of property maintenance infractions. It seems like the rest of the notations are quite specific in the violations. So what specifically are the infractions at the Concord Town Center?
Well, do we have a list? Have you called up and presented the staff with comments?
I have. I'm not getting a response other than they're working with them.
Okay, well, I'll ask our township manager to say a few words about that, since she's more familiar than I am with it.
Yeah, I guess I'm also wondering, you know, I don't know if you've noticed all the outdoor storage of materials. We've got 80-pound concrete sacks piled 3 pallets high, riding lawnmowers on temporary wooden shipping crates that have been there for months. It's more than just a maintenance issue. It's actually a zoning violation that in PIP zoning, you're not allowed to store materials outdoors.
So, I mean, I can respond if you want me to. We're fully aware. You email me weekly. We know.
Okay,
We've been working with them. We don't go in, you know this, we don't go in like gangbusters on private property and clean up ourselves. We have to follow a process by law. So that is
Understood.
not what we do. So what we do is we notify them. We try to work with their attorneys. We try to work with the store owners. We have great relationships with a lot of these folks. Some things took time. For example, there was a broken gate that was in the back of the shopping center that you notified us. They told us it was broken. We're working with them to fix it. So we're working with them. They have attorneys. They have representatives. It's the Home Depot. Their managers change every month, just about. So we're trying to do what we can to fix it. We understand the zoning issue. They recently reached out with their attorney and their engineers, and that they're gonna make an application next week, apparently. And we told them if they don't make an application, that they will be cited. So we are working with them, but it's just not to maybe the quickness that you would like. But what I will say is this, for every resident, government is slow by design. It is meant to be. It is meant to be so that it is fair for you in the process and fair on our end in the process. So, like it or not, I don't go in and remove their cement and do anything like that. We have to work with them by law in order to have those things corrected. So we're not doing it, it's just at a different clip than you would like to see.
For instance, I saw the letter from over a year ago from your zoning officer to the property that if they want to store materials outside, it has to be fenced.
And that was to a group.
A year ago.
That was to a larger group. Target, you saw, came in here, right?
Well, no, it was to
Target
Home-
came
it was
in.
to Home Depot,
It took
but-
several months, but we got their attorneys in here. They own their space different. Home Depot is a leasee of that entire shopping center with the conditional use. So again, what I can tell you is that we've heard your complaints. I see them. Nobody's ignoring you, but we have a lot of matters always before us. So I can't have them every single week responding to you that, oh, well, we talked to the store owner. They're going to try to fix the gate, but it's not fixed yet because they're waiting for a part.
So
I feel like that
is-
doesn't solve. I'd
is-
rather see the matter resolved.
Is the township's position they're allowed to store thousands of
That is-
bags of mulch and concrete in the parking lot?
That is what you are stating.
That's me. I mean, I'm asking, does the township, what's the
My
township's
zoning
position?
officer
Yes.
has notified them that they have an issue to correct. They're working on it. So I'm not going to say that it's the township's position
Well-
to do X, Y, and Z. So by code, there are things they are allowed to do and things they are not allowed to do. We are working through their legal partners and engineers to correct those actions. So if you want to see, like you give right-to-know law requests, we provide you any and all information. I've provided you
Okay.
thousands of documents. Happy to do that if you want to see any communication between my inspector or zoning officer and that entity. It is all public.
Okay. So I see you are giving violation letters to several businesses, presumably within a month or two. of observations, but because Home Depot is more powerful, it perhaps takes years, or
It is not that Home Depot is more powerful.
why does there appear to be?
If I may, I'm addressing both the township manager and Mr. Goebel. You're fully allowed your time for public forum, and you can make your statements, but this is not a debate session, and we're not going to set
I
township
thought we were
policy.
questioning and answering.
Well, I know, and I'm giving her advice, and I'm letting you know the township policy and procedure for the public forum. So state your case, but we're not going to get in a back and forth here ad nauseum. If you don't agree with the township's position, so be it. And I
Okay,
respect it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else care to address the council?
Pictures of a young man whose life was endangered at a school bus stop 16 years ago today. Dave Cleary, 72 Schoolhouse Lane, Concord Township. The reason I bring these pictures with, and please look at them, because his life is just as important as anybody else in the community. But 16 years ago, it was more important to co-locate a construction access point right at my children's school bus stops. And after the construction site got shut down the week prior, because we asked some tough questions at this meeting, mysteriously a dump truck backed into our driveway at my 5-year-old son and my wife as they were still moving away from having exited the school bus at the end of the driveway. What was disappointing to see on the Concord Township side is the volume of nepotism and efforts to cover up, pretend this didn't happen, to not have to cite. It got so bad that 30 days after it happened, the township solicitor claimed to have an investigation on a day like today where it was pouring rain, be on my property for an hour when he knew my wife, who was the critical witness in the incident, was out of town for 5 days with the Army Reserves. You can see her picture right up in the top center. She's a retired Army Reserve colonel now. Maybe Concord is the only place in the United States of America that looks at that kind of conduct as acceptable. So no citations were ever written, and my perception is, as I started to learn, just up the street, the Cabellis had been violating zoning codes. The house at 228 Adrian never seemed to be following on the property tax rules. And Judge Capelli just happened to be the district magistrate. Just simply violating the closed construction site that dump truck was coming in and out of was an easy citation, as of many others. And the engineer pretended like having a narrow driveway right at their school bus was the parents had to be better parents protecting their kids. No, that's on the township to watch out for the safety of kids, especially 5-year-old kids. Fortunately, he's still with us today, and he's doing some big things. And before I forget, I thank Chief Hope and Station 59. Chief Hope and his daughter bought out a fire truck for a community event that we've been sponsoring every year. That, in reality, a lot of the people were actually from outside of Concord Township this year. Mrs. Pennsylvania came. We got the state police to come. Station 59 brought their trucks. We got some kids from Williamson School and some DCI nursing students to come out and help with a very good community autism event for those that take part in it. And it's headed up by that kid that was 5 years old when his life was threatened 16 years ago and happens to be 21 years ago now. He led the Pledge of Allegiance. He led the Run Start effort. And he's thrived through the disrespect he was shown 16 years ago by people that are still here. I have 2 right-to-know requests that are related, and I'd like them to get professionally answered because I think the Capelli-Pileggi nepotism with the property at 139 Schoolhouse Lane and the property around the corner were a key factor in my neighbor believing that they could break the same zoning laws the Capellis were, and resulted in the anger that thought they could endanger the life of my child at a school bus stop. And they were right. They got away with it. There was a whole lot of adults that should have been drawing a line, but were too ethically compromised to even say, wait a second. We've been lying and cutting corners for the Capellis forever, but a 5-year-old child should be safe at a school bus stop. But no, it was more important to protect the nepotism. So here's the text in my 2 right-to-knows, and then I'm going to step away. Request all records and communications, e.g. emails, etc., to and from Delaware County regarding the property at 139 Schoolhouse Lane and 228 Andrean. This is to include all documents regarding the structures on these properties and or the zoning for these properties provided to Delaware County and or the contracted property survey team. Somehow, the house at 228 Andrean just yet again got missed during the last drive-around property survey. My house was reported after it was built to Delaware County, so we pay taxes. Okay, they missed it in 1968 because somehow the Capellis didn't know that they were supposed to be paying taxes on that house. Well, it's 2025. That should be a separate folio as directed by Concord Township to be paying their own taxes. And my second right to know is on that line of this lame excuse that, oh, it doesn't have to pay its ambulance and fire service taxes even though it's there only for 911 purposes, or the address. Request all records for any Concord Township property in a R1, R2, R2D, R3, R4 resident zoning district that does not have its own folio number and individual property tax assessment because it's strictly addressed for 911 services. The excuse when I've asked this question over the years, particularly offered by Ms. Serac or Dominic Pledge, is that this property at 228 Andrean didn't have to pay its taxes like everybody else because it just needed a number on it to get the ambulance services and didn't have to pay its share. That kind of nepotism is not good for the safety of the good people in the community, and it ends up disrespecting the people that serve in our military services when it gets so aggressive to cover up the nepotism. Let me leave these with you.
You can hold on to it. Yeah. Mr. Cleary, thank you. Thank you for your comments. As normal, right-to-know requests get answered by our staff, by our right-to-know officer, and we don't really handle those comments at this meeting. Thank you. Anyone else care to address the public? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. We'll get into the business items. We have the consent agenda. We have the council public meeting minutes of April 1st, 2025. And then items B, C, D, and E. If Dana, you would handle those?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. So total expenditures is $1,027,727.36, and that consists of April payroll of $306,641.49, current bills $497,605.93, sewer bills $223,479.94. On to our releases. We have Orchard Knoll, and this is Township. This is the third release for their Orchard Knoll development project in the amount of $304,754.09. The Waterford at Garnet Valley Sewer, this is the third and final release for their sewer maintenance in the amount of $13,578.50. The Waterford at Garnet Valley Township side, this is the 11th and final release to the Waterford at Garnet Valley for the township maintenance in the amount of $42,898.76. We also have a payment for Tuttle. This is the third and final release to Tuttle in the amount of $3,879. And then on to our certificate of payments. We have Cipollini, and this is the second payment for $92,348.90 for the work that they did as part of the ARPA funding for safety improvements at Evergreen Drive and Spring Valley Road. Next up is AMG Electric. This is the second payment in the amount of $27,900. And this is for the work that they're doing with the sewer UV project. Our next payment is Guy M. Cooper, and this is the second payment in the amount of $51,040. And this is work being done at the community center for the fire suppression system. And our last certificate of payment is J&S Pavement and Excavating. This is the first payment in the amount of $52,121.08 for the work being done at the Beaver Valley Park, which is also a grant funding project. Next up is our awards. So we have the sewer control building roof replacement, and HRG is recommending the award to Sky General Construction, LLC, in the amount of $42,000. We also have the Goat Barn renovations, and this is for award Hugh Lofting Timber Framing in the amount of $210,000. This recommendation will be made under the condition that they provide a bond check to the township in the amount of $21,000.
Could I stop you and ask our manager, did we receive that certified check? Did we receive the certified check?
We did.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes, for
Okay.
that bid award?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Sure, and then we have the 2025 road program, and that's awarded to AF Damon in the amount of $368,139.75. And we also are awarding our cleaning services, and that's to CNS Cleaning Services, which is our current cleaners, in the amount of $23,820 per year, and that's a 2-year contract. And then we have, this is the right one, Township Sewer and Water Connections. We're going to award Joseph J. Danielle, LLC, in the amount of $47,048.06. And then we have our sewer plant fire suppression system. There's currently no bidders, so we are going to take that back and see if we can rebid that project.
Okay. So is that in the form of a motion?
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. The next item is item F, accept as complete for filing the following application, a final minor subdivision, Pasiac at 113 Kirk Road. So we're accepting that. No motion is required. Now we'll go on to the ARPA update. Amanda?
Sure, I'm gonna look over at Nate because we have a couple projects in play that are dealing with stormwater basins. So I'll let you.
Yeah, really, the
go
ARPA,
forward with-
yeah, we're down to our last 2 projects. It's going to be Carter Way and the Newland Basin. And both are somewhat in a holding pattern as we await permitting. So really no update this month. And we'll kind of keep those on the list each month until we get to the point of ready to go. The Carter Way project, we did receive our initial round of comments from DEP about 2 weeks ago. So we'll be resubmitting that any day now and hopefully get those resolved so we can keep that moving and get that constructed. Hopefully later this summer is our expectation. And then next on the agenda, John, was the Octorara Trail.
Octorara Trail, yes.
Yep.
Octorara Trail, kind of probably 2 big milestones this week. We submitted our NPDS permit to the county for review. So we finally got that off our desk to get that rolling, as
Have
well
the
as our initial.
agreements executed.
The SEPTA agreement has been executed, and we had our initial right-of-way coordination meeting to get that process started. So we've got a lot of things moving. It's been probably really good, probably 60 to 90 days of activity. So Amanda and Mark Morphy and Hugh, kind of the 3-person team working with DVRPC to keep that moving and on track.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, next we have ordinance 411, code adoption. It's a recodification process. What we have here is an ordinance to approve, adopt, and enact codification for the Township of Concord to provide for the repeal of certain legislation not included therein, to save from repeal certain other legislation not included therein, and to provide penalties for tampering with the code. There's several sections here. I'm not going to read everything, but we have approval, adoption, and enactment of code, effect of code on previous provisions, repeal of legislation not contained in the code, inconsistent legislation repealed, legislation saved from repeal, matters not affected by repeal, inclusion of new legislation prior to adoption of code, non-substantive changes, changes and revisions in previously adopted legislation and new provisions, interpretation of provisions, title and headings, editor's notes, filing of copy of code, amendments to code, code books to be kept up to date, publication of notices, altering or tampering with the code, violations and penalties, severability, and effective date. So that's in an ordinance form of 411. So could I get a motion for that?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All those.
Can I also do a roll call vote since that's an ordinance?
Oh, okay.
That way I can have each one of you. Mr. Mutchler, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Deschmuk, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Rankin, how do you vote? Yes. Vice President Gillespie, how do you vote?
Yes.
All in favor?
Motion carries. Okay. So next we have resolution number 23 of 2025, Pennsylvania Small Water and Sewer CFA Grant Sewer Plant SCADA project. So Dana, you want to handle that?
Sure. So this is to request that the PA Small Water and Sewer Program grant of $500,000 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for centralized sewage treatment plant SCADA project. So that's in a form of a motion.
Okay. This is 2025.
So
And that-
moved.
So, okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, then we have items 6, 7, and 8. Resolution 2024 of 2025, Ferrara, 823 Shavertown Road, final minor subdivision. Okay, so I will attempt to read the resolution. Whereas an amended final minor subdivision and land development plan dated January 20, 2025, prepared by G.D. Hoopman and Son, has been submitted by Edward Ferrara, owner of a 3.02 acre property located on the north side of Shavertown Road at the intersection of Shavertown Road and Martins Court within the R2 residential zoning district. Whereas the applicant proposes to subdivide the existing lot into 2 lots with an existing dwelling on Lot 1 and a proposed single-family dwelling on Lot 2. The plan also proposes a new driveway entrance, landscaping, and stormwater management. Whereas the amended final minor subdivision and land development application has been reviewed by Delaware County Planning Commission, the Concord Township Planning Commission, Concord Township Engineer, Concord Township Sewer Engineer, Concord Township Zoning Hearing Board, and the Concord Township Fire Marshal. And whereas the Council of Concord Township finds that the final minor subdivision and land development plan is generally in conformity with the Township Subdivision Land Development Ordinance and the zoning code, provided the applicant complies with each of the following conditions. Number 1, compliance with all comments contained in the Pannoni Review Letter dated April 4th, 2025. Number 2, compliance with all comments contained in the HRG Sanitary Sewer Review Letter dated April 10th, 2025. Number 3, compliance with all comments contained in the Fire Marshal's email dated March 4th, 2025. Notably, the applicant has agreed to modify the plan to install a driveway directly off Martins Court to lot number 2. The existing driveway between lot 1 and lot 2 to remain. Number 4, compliance with all comments contained in the Delaware County Planning Commission Review Letter dated March 21, 2025. Number 5, submission to the township of all required permits and external approvals, included but not limited to Pennsylvania DEP sewage planning module exemption. Number 6, plans are to be submitted in electronic format acceptable to the township engineer. Number 7, an executed operation and maintenance agreement as well as a contribution to the municipal stormwater control and BMP operation and maintenance fund is required in the amount of $11,280. Number 8, all deeds for the properties, legal description, easements, driveways, easements, stormwater maintenance agreements are to be submitted for review and approval by the township engineer and the township solicitor prior to the release of the signed plan. Number 9, the deed for each of the new lots shall indicate that further subdivision is prohibited. Number 10, signed, sealed surveyor's certification of placement of monuments and pins must be filed with the township prior to recording the signed plan. Number 11, submission of a historical resource impact study for review by the Township Historic Commission. And number 12, confirmation from the township regarding capacity for the new sanitary sewer connection. The amended final minor subdivision and land development plan dated January 2025 is hereby approved as 13th day of May 2025, subject to compliance with each of the foregoing conditions. Is the applicant in the audience?
And you will have Mr. Ferrera sign off on the resolution?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So we need a motion for approval.
So moved.
And a sec-
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those
My only question is, with number 11 for the submission of the historical resource impact study, when does that have to take place? Before or just in accordance with this, correct?
The applicant had indicated that document was in process, so we'll coordinate that with Mark Gennaro. Typically, we would not sign the record plans until Mark and the Historic Commission have signed off on that.
Perfect.
So I'll flag that. I appreciate that, Larry.
Okay. We don't need that in there, right? That's, okay, good.
Sorry, what was that? Oh, you good? Okay.
John, I guess just an all in favor? We need an all in favor?
Do we need?
There was a second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was, losing my spot here. All right, got one more. Oh, the Ferrara, no, we did the Ferrara. Okay. Okay. Next, we have resolution number 25-2025, minor subdivision and land development, Mickleron LLC, 64 Kirk Road. Whereas an amended minor subdivision and land development plan dated January 16th, 2024, prepared by G.D. Hoopman and Son, has been submitted by Mickleron LLC, owner of a 2.92-acre property located on the west side of Kirk Road, approximately 1,200 feet from the intersection of Kirk Road and Garnet Mine Road, within the R2 residential zoning district. And whereas the applicant proposes to subdivide the existing lot into 2 new lots and construct 2 single-family dwelling, one on each of the new lots. The plan also proposes parking, landscaping, and stormwater management. And whereas the amended minor subdivision and land development application has been reviewed by the Delaware County Planning Commission, Concord Township Planning Commission, Concord Township Engineer, Concord Township Sewer Engineer, Concord Township Zoning Hearing Board, and the Concord Township Fire Marshal. And whereas the Council of Concord Township finds that the minor subdivision and land development plan is generally in conformity with the Township Subdivision Land Development Ordinance and the zoning code, provided the applicant complies with each of the following conditions. Number 1, compliance with all comments contained in the Pannoni Review Letter dated March 4th, 2025. Number 2, compliance with all comments contained in the HRG Sanitary Sewer Review Letter dated March 11, 2025. Number 3, compliance with all comments contained in the Fire Marshal's email dated March 4th, 2025. Number 4, compliance with all comments contained in the Delaware County Planning Commission Review Letter dated March 21, 2025. Number 5, submission to the township of all required permits and external approvals, including but not limited to PADEP sewage planning module exemption and PADEP NPDES prior to construction. Number 6, plans are to be submitted in an electronic format acceptable to the township engineer. Number 7, all executed stormwater operation and maintenance agreements, as well as a contribution to the municipal stormwater control and BMP operation and maintenance fund is required in the amount of $9,543. Number 8, all deeds for the properties, legal descriptions, easements, driveway easements, and stormwater maintenance agreements are to be submitted for review and approval by the township engineer and township solicitor prior to the release of the signed plan. Number 9, the deed for each lot shall indicate the further subdivision is prohibited. Number 10, signed, sealed surveyor certification of placement of monuments and pins must be filed with the township prior to recording the signed plan. The amended minor subdivision and land development plan dated January 16th, 2024 is hereby approved this 13th day of May, 2025, subject to compliance with each of the foregoing conditions. So we have a motion for approval. Larry.
Do we have anybody here with the plan? Any questions on the terms? No.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept Resolution 25 of 2025.
Second.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations on your project. And we have a Resolution 26 of 2025. Final minor subdivision, LU 81 LLC, 39 Kirk Road. Whereas an amended final subdivision plan dated March 25th, 2025, prepared by Kelly Engineers, had been submitted by LU 81 LLC, owner of a 3.2-acre property located on the east side of Kirk Road, approximately 700 feet north of the intersection of Kirk and Garnet Mine Roads within the R2 residential zoning district. Whereas the applicant proposes to subdivide the existing lot into 2 residential lots and build a single-family dwelling on Lot 2. The plan also proposes a new driveway, landscaping, and stormwater management. And whereas the amended final subdivision application has been reviewed by the Delaware County Planning Commission, Concord Township Planning Commission, Concord Township Engineer, Concord Township Sewer Engineer, Concord Township Zoning Hearing Board, and the Concord Township Fire Marshal. And whereas the Council of Concord Township finds that the final subdivision plan is generally in conformity with the Township Subdivision Land Development Ordinance and the Zoning Code, provided the applicant complies with each of the following conditions. Number 1, compliance with all comments contained in the Pannoni Review Letter dated April 11, 2025. Number 2, compliance with all comments contained in the HRG Sanitary Sewer Review Letter dated April 10, 2025. Number 3, compliance with all comments contained in the Fire Marshal's email dated April 11, 2025. Number 4, compliance with all comments contained in the Delaware County Planning Commission Review Letter dated April 15, 2025. Number 5, plans are to be submitted in an electronic format acceptable to the Township Engineer. Number 6, an executed operation and maintenance agreement for the new lot, as well as contribution to the Municipal Stormwater Control and BMP Operation and Maintenance Fund is required in the amount of $7,805. Number 7, all deeds for the properties, legal descriptions, easements, driveway easements, and stormwater maintenance agreements are to be submitted for review and approval by the Township Engineer and Township Solicitor prior to the release of the signed plan. Number 8, signed, sealed surveyor certification of placement of monuments and pins must be filed with the Township prior to recording the signed plan. Number 9, the deed for each lot shall indicate further subdivision is prohibited. The amended final subdivision plan dated March 20, 2025 is hereby approved this 13th day of May 2025, subject to compliance with each of the following conditions. So, could I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any questions from the board?
Does the applicant have any questions?
The applicant here?
Yes, sir. Chad Whitmore on behalf of the applicant. We accept all conditions.
Okay, perfect.
And is someone here to sign on behalf of the applicant?
Yes, sir.
Who would that be? And I assume he is the principal of LU 81 LLC?
Perfect. All right.
Garnet Mine and Kirk Road
we
might
have
look a little
motion and
different in a
second.
couple of years.
All those in approval, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay. We have a lease agreement. Resolution number 27 of 2025, a lease agreement for rental of a portion of 725 Smith Ridge Road. Whereas the Township of Concord is the owner of a certain parcel of land known as 725 Smithbridge Road, Glen Mills, PA, and has leased a certain portion of the property containing approximately 3,600 square feet, including airspace above said ground, to American Towers, LLC, pursuant to a lease agreement dated April 1 of 2014, upon which American Towers, LLC, has installed a cellular tower. The term of the lease is to expire on April 29th, 2034. And whereas American Towers LLC has requested that the parties enter into an amended lease agreement for a term of 40 years in the form and manner attached hereto as Exhibit A, and have offered to make a one-time payment of $25,000 to the township as compensation for entering into the amended lease agreement. And whereas council believes that it is the best interest and will best serve the welfare of the township and citizens of Concord Township to enter into the amended lease. Now therefore, Council of Township of Concord hereby authorizes the township manager, Amanda Sirach, to execute the 2025 amended lease agreement for the portion of 725 Smithbridge Road as described above with American Towers, LLC. So that need a motion for approval?
I so moved.
Second.
Second. Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I am a nay on this one, just so we know. I'm a nay on that.
Okay. Then we have the last item on the agenda. Okay, resolution number 28 of 2025, conditional use decision for Heroes Bar and Grill for outdoor dining. So we have, whereas an application for conditional use approval for seasonal outdoor seating pursuant to the Concord Township zoning ordinance, section 210-261C, paragraph 5, has been submitted by Robert Keats and 368 Bar, Inc., Heroes Bar and Grill, hereinafter applicant, in connection with the restaurant for food and beverage service, which is located at 996 Baltimore Pike, Glen Mills, PA. Whereas Concord Township conducted a public hearing pursuant to a public notice on April 29th, 2025 at the Concord Township Municipal Building, 43 Thornton Road, Glen Mills. And whereas the Council of Concord Township finds, based on evidence produced at the public hearings, that approval of this application for a conditional use will not adversely affect the welfare, health, peace, or morals of the Township of Concord or its residents, provided certain conditions are met. Now, therefore, the Council of the Township of Concord, County of Delaware, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, does hereby resolve and state that outdoor dining as a conditional use is approved for the applicant, conditioned upon each of the following requirements. Number one, the outdoor dining area shall be confined to the area delineated on the McFadden Architect Plan dated June 24, 2024, last revised March 17, 2025, and in the TCA memorandum dated April 15, 2025, last revised May 7, 2025, attached hereto as Exhibit A. Number two, the applicant will follow all the conditions set forth in the TCA memorandum referred to above. Number three, outdoor dining will be permitted April 1st through November 1st between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 p.m., Sunday through Thursday, and 8 a.m. and 12 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Number four, no outdoor bar will be permitted, but patrons seated at the outdoor table may be served alcoholic beverages for consumption at the table. Number five, the seasonal outdoor seating area will be enclosed by a fence as described and shown in Exhibit A. Number six, the fence will be designed to provide at least 2 gates and associated handicap ramps to allow for emergency egress from the outdoor dining area as approved by the township. Number seven, applicant shall have a hostess for the outdoor dining area on duty at all times during the outdoor dining hours. Number eight, no live marketing and or entertainment will be permitted at any time in the outdoor dining area. Number nine, the number of outdoor dining tables may not exceed 10 tables, and outdoor seating is limited to a total of 40 seats. All outdoor seating shall be restricted to the paved patio area and shall not encroach upon the grass. Number 10, no smoking will be permitted in the outdoor dining area. Number 11, Signs shall be displayed as approved by the township at all times, advising customers that no alcoholic beverage may be taken outside of the food service area delineated by the fence at any time. Number 12, on-site security hostess is to be provided by the applicant. Number 13, all fixed shade structures other than patio table umbrellas must be approved by the township's building department. Number 14, the applicant will grade the former bocce court, backfill and reseed as set forth on the TCA memorandum. Number 15, applicant will install landscaping as per the TCA memorandum, including the installation of 9 shamrock inkberry holly shrubs along the northern edge of the northernmost former bocce court. Final approval by TCA. Number 16, applicant will repair the patio, raising the edge to prevent tripping hazards, and will repair the steps and add a gate as noted on the attached copy of the McFadden architect plan. Number 17, approval for outdoor dining is limited to the applicant and will cease upon termination of the applicant's tenancy. Okay, so we have the reading of the resolution. Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
We have a
Second.
Any questions?
There is one comment, one of the other members of council couldn't make the meeting tonight, and we did not include it as a condition of approval. But it is hoped that the building that is painted blue in the front, but is not painted in the back or on the sides, it is strongly recommended that the owner of the property, take some steps to color coordinate, shall we say, and to bring the property up to speed. Thank you.
So that's not included as part of the resolution, it's merely a suggestion.
That's correct.
Okay. So, all those in favor of the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, motion approved. Is that agreeable to the applicant? Okay, good. Congratulations on your project.
Motion to adjourn?
Okay, yeah, we have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good job, John. Good to see you.